Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. I'm Jerry Fetta. I own WealthX, and I want to talk to you guys today about where to get advice from. Before I do that, I want to just tell you real quick about myself, my mission, my company. I own a group called WealthX. The one reason that WealthX exists is to help you own your potential, and the reason why is because right now you're trading time for money. You're doing a job you hate so that you can get these things called dollars and pay the bills, and because of that, you don't ever get to see what you're capable of. And so I believe that it's a shame for you to live your life and not know what it is you're capable of doing, to not do the things you're passionate about, and to not have control of your time. If you agree with that message, please go ahead and like. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Share this stream, please. I really appreciate it. Share, share, share. But today we're going to talk about where to get advice from. Now, what is advice? Advice is an opinion. Straight up, advice is an opinion. Now, if advice is an opinion, that means technically everybody's going to have advice. Everybody. The reason why, because everybody has an opinion, right? So in my life, when I look at trying to accomplish something and there's information missing, or maybe there's something I don't know yet and I start looking for advice, there's a few questions that I ask about. Ben, thanks for joining. Hey, go ahead and share this if you're just tuning in. We're talking about where to get advice from. Now, when I'm looking for advice, I realize first, number one, advice, like I said, stems from the root of opinion. It's just an opinion. So whatever advice I get is going to be somebody else's subjective view based on their life agreements. It doesn't mean they're right. It doesn't mean it's factual. It does not mean it's objective. In fact, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be their viewpoint. So when I know that, it means that I don't have to take it to heart. Okay? When I was growing up, when I would ask someone for advice, and it was a confidence issue, when I would ask someone for advice and they would give me advice, if it was different than mine, sometimes I would automatically feel like maybe I was wrong because their advice was different. And I don't know if that's ever happened to you. It's crazy because I don't know if their advice works, but I would look at it and be like, oh, theirs isn't what mine is. Maybe I'm wrong. And what I've come to realize is advice needs to come from a place of competence. Okay, if I'm going to get advice from somebody on a topic, if I want their opinion, I want to get an opinion from somebody that's competent. Competent means that they know what they're doing. And the only real way to tell if someone knows what they're doing is, do they have the results you're looking for? Do they have the results you're looking for? If they don't, apparently they have no competence in that area, and therefore their opinion is not going to be one that you can trust and rely on because they've never done the thing you're asking about. So I want to share with you my thoughts on the subject. When I grew up, I heard a lot of times that you can learn from failure just as much as you can learn from success. And as I've grown older, I've actually come to not agree with that statement. I disagree with that statement. I've seen that it doesn't actually play out properly, and here's why. Let's say that I'm trying to climb Mount Everest. Okay, that's my goal. I'm going to climb Mount Everest, and I'm looking for a coach. There's 4 different people I can talk to. There's one guy. He's actually climbed Mount Everest. He has done the thing I'm out to do. There's another guy. He tried to climb Mount Everest, but he failed. There's another guy. The third guy I can talk to is somebody that's also trying to climb Mount Everest. So they're doing what I'm doing. They haven't been there yet, though. And then the fourth person I can talk to is the guy that's not even trying. It's not an interest for him. Those are the 4 choices we have in any decision. When we're looking for advice, we can, if it's your business, I can go talk to someone who has done it. I can go talk to someone who's tried and failed. I can go talk to someone who's currently doing it. Or I can go talk to someone who has no interest in the subject at all. I was taught growing up that it's okay and it's good to talk to the person that tried and failed. And so what I've learned in my business over the last 7 years is that's not somebody I want to take advice from. It's somebody I can listen to. It's somebody I can be friends with. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to get marriage advice from a divorce guy. I'm not going to get fitness advice from someone that's obese. I'm not going to get financial advice from someone that's broke. I'm not going to get business advice from somebody who has quit their business and isn't continually trying to grow it. And so that's not the person I want to get advice from. The person that I want to get advice from is somebody that's winning at a high level at the very thing that I'm pursuing myself. And so that means if it's marriage advice, they need to have an awesome marriage. Their marriage needs to be where I hope to have mine at someday. If it is physical fitness advice, they need to be in the kind of shape I want to be in. Okay, if it's business advice, their business needs to look the way I want my business to look. If it's financial advice, they need to have a position with their finances that I can aspire to be in as well. And here's the reason why. If you back this out and you compare the two, and I've got my phone here, but we all have Siri on our GPSs, right? If you're driving and you're in a brand new city, I was in Nashville about a month ago. I've never really been there, so I didn't know the area. But if I'm driving and I turn on Siri and I say, hey Siri, get me from Nashville to Murfreesboro, and Siri says, well, I've never been there, but I can tell you, man, can I tell you, last time I tried to go there, I took a right turn on this street. It should have been a left though. So watch out for that mistake. Also, there's going to be some red lights. You might want to watch out for those. I don't know the road to take, but I know you shouldn't take this one over here. And she just told me all the things not to do. Okay, when someone has failed at a pursuit, that's the kind of advice they're going to have. Don't make the same mistake I made. Don't do this, it didn't work for me. Watch out for this obstacle got me. While that can be helpful, it does not tell me this is the path to go on. When I turn my GPS on, I want to hear turn right on this street. Go 500 feet and then take this exit. Go a mile and then you're going to arrive at your destination. I can't get there with don't do this, don't do that, don't try this, don't try that. These are all the mistakes I made. So I wanted to share this because in our culture, a lot of times we soften the real value and also the real pitfall with advice. When you're asking for advice, you're soliciting to somebody and saying, give me your opinion. They have one. I promise you they have one. It does not mean it's qualified. It does not mean there's any competence behind it. It does not mean they have a result in that area. So focus on those that have won. Focus on those that have been where you're going. Have accountability sources with people that are with you on the journey, but those are not your advice standpoint. Those are not your people that you get advice from. The people you get advice from are those that have been there, that can say, hey, this is what I did to be at the destination, and I've been to the destination. Have accountability from those that are with you. And then from those that have failed, yeah, listen to them, but they're not going to help you get there. They can't. They've never been there. And a lot of times, and I want to end on this note, a lot of times we tend to justify listening to someone that has failed in a pursuit because it makes us feel better about our own. We maybe have failed, or maybe we know someone close that has failed in that area. And so because of that, emotionally, it's not fun to say, hey, you can't take advice from a divorced person. Well, what if I'm divorced? Or what if my friend's divorced? And so that emotional feeling makes us say, maybe you can, because I like this person, I have a relationship with them, and I feel bad about disqualifying them on this topic. I'll go ahead and lower my standards. At the end of the day, advice is all about standards. Your advice, the level of advice that you are willing to accept, is 100% proportional to the standards you have for yourself and for the standards you have for the results that you expect in your life. Hey, thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Have a great Monday. Make sure that if you're giving advice, you've been there. If you're taking advice, they've been there. And if you haven't been there or if you failed on the way, probably not the most qualified source. Have a great Monday. I'm going to talk to you guys later.